What's up, y'all? It's Jimmy coming to you guys with another video. Before we get into the video, as always, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And when you guys hit subscribe, please make sure you guys are hitting that notification button. So getting right into the video, these shoes are typically one that I have never really reviewed on the channel. I don't think I've ever reviewed this brand on the channel before actually, but they are a very trendy shoe for men and women, especially for the summertime. I myself, I've never been the biggest fan of this brand. It's not that I didn't like it, I just felt like it didn't look right on me. And I don't know, I feel like my outfits never really meshed well with this style. And the shoes that I'm talking about are Converse All-Star Chuck Taylors. These shoes are iconic. You know, growing up, you guys have definitely seen these shoes. You know, Wiz Khalifa, I'm not gonna say he made them iconic, but he definitely kind of integrated that streetwear. And you know, I feel like I might get some backlash for that because I know maybe people from Cali, New York might have been wearing this for decades, and you know, Wiz maybe just made it a little bit more mainstream. But yes, these shoes have been around for quite some time. They were initially used as basketball shoes, and I feel like they really integrated to like the punk rock scene. And really now everyone is wearing Chuck Taylors. These are very casual, simple shoes that are easy to wear. Not for myself though, I'll say for some reason I just feel like they've always looked a little bit weird on me. And I will say that is really more so for the normal Chuck Taylors. These are Chuck Taylors, but they are the 70s version. So these are a little bit more pricey than your typical standard Chuck Taylors that you guys are probably seeing every day. These are like elevated, the quality on them is better. They have like a very vintage feel and look to them. And if you guys own a pair of CDG Converses, whether it's the high tops or the low tops, because the 70s pair also comes in low and high. So if you guys do own the CDGs, they are very similar in the construction, the build, and just the overall feel of the shoe. But getting into the first ever Converse Chuck Taylor review on the channel, like I said, I got two pairs, you know, and I actually said, like I said, but I don't even know if I said that yet. But I got two pairs to show you guys. I will say the sizing on these is humongous. So I myself, I typically wear a size 8 in like Nikes, Adidas, New Balances. I can wear 8.5, and sometimes I can push a 9 if I want to be more roomy, but my true size is a size 8. And for these, I should have known. I went a size 7.5 because I know Converse do fit pretty big, and I really should have gone down to a size 7. And I think a size 7 would have fit perfectly. But the 7.5 is not that it's terrible, but to me, it just feels too big. And I myself, I hate it when my shoes feel too big. So when you look at the sizing tag of the first pair, like I said, these are a size 7.5 men's, 9.5 women's. Make sure you guys go a whole size down, or even if you want a very snug fit, I can imagine going 1.5 size down would be good. But yeah, make sure you guys go size down for a good fit, and you know, something that doesn't look too clunky, too big for you, basically like clown shoes. And then the colors on this are black, and Egret. And I'm pretty sure Egret is that very like subtle tan, subtle cream that gives it that vintage look to it. Like I said, these are the Chuck 70s. And since both pairs are identical besides the color, I'm gonna go ahead and review them all at once and then show you guys the sizing tag of the other pair as well. These are the same size as the black pair, and then color on these are parchment garnet / E. What the E stands for, I'm not too sure, but again, these are the Chuck 70 highs. I myself, maybe I should have gone with the low tops because, you know, maybe the low tops would be a little bit easier for me to wear. But I don't know, whenever I see people wear these Converse, I see them in high top form and everyone makes them look so good. So I figure I pick them up just to check them out to see what they look like and show you guys. And then finally, here are the shoes. So on my right hand side, which might be the left hand side for you guys, I'm not too sure how the video exporting works out to be. But on my right hand side, I have the black pair, and then on my left hand side, I have the creamish white pair. I know for this model specifically, the Chuck 70 highs, these are like the more so creamish canvas uppers, but they also have a more platinum white uppers. It basically just looks a little bit more clean, where these already have that vintage wash to the uppers. And hopefully the colors are popping off okay. I feel like you can see a lot of blue, on the canvas, but this is a very creamy material, and I'll show close-up of the shoes as well, so you guys can get a better feel of how they look. But starting with the outsoles of the shoe, you have your classic Converse Chuck Taylor outsole. This is nothing new, but then when you move on to your midsole, this is where you start to see differences in this pair and then just the regular Chuck Taylors. I feel like the regular Chuck Taylors, they have a tendency to look very thin, very cheap on the midsole. You know, maybe that's just me being biased because I've never really have been like the biggest fan of Chuck Taylors. But on the Chuck 70s, I'll say the midsole on these is really nice. There is a glossy finish to them. I don't know if you guys can see with the light reflecting off of it, but that glossy finish is very similar to what is seen on the CDGs. And the reason why I know that is because I do own a pair of CDG lows. So that was really, I guess, my first pair of Converse. And then this would be second and third. But yeah, you do have a thicker midsole, it seems, on the Chuck 70s. And on the back portion, I'm pretty sure the Chuck Taylor All-Star tag right there is different than what you'd see on normal Converse. But very nice detail, very nice quality. You can tell that this is like a really quality shoe. Like the build on it is pretty damn solid, because I feel like whenever you hold a pair of regular Converse, it feels pretty cheap. But these right here feel pretty good. And I should mention, price point on these is pretty steep, at least in comparison to regular Chuck Taylors. You know, but this is kind of more so one of those things, you know, you pay for what you get. So this will be about probably like 85 to 95 bucks, I believe, like after tax and shipping. Maybe you can get them locally and save on shipping, but you know, let's just say they're about 100 bucks each compared to regular Chuck Taylors, which are about 55. So you're paying about double, but the quality, the shape of the shoe is much more in line with what is trendy right now. And it's not that what's trendy right now is what's cool and why you should buy these, but in my opinion, just the regular Chuck Taylors, I don't know, maybe, like I said, I have a very biased opinion. I just feel like those don't really mesh well with streetwear clothing, right? Those are more so geared towards like very hipster-esque, very men's fashion type of clothing as opposed to streetwear. And I feel like this is kind of like going a little bit more towards streetwear, even though it's not so much. Like it could still be very much a casual menswear shoe, but I feel like these are a lot better than the normal pair. And then the only difference on the midsole of these two is basically on the white you have red, white, and blue, and on the black it's just that cream color and then black lining. And then when you move onto the uppers, clearly the difference is going to be the color of the canvas. But also I will say the quality on this canvas feels very good. It feels very thick. It's like, if you guys can see it, and like I said, I will show you guys a close-up. This right here, I don't know how thick this is in millimeters. If I had to take a guess, maybe 15 to 20 millimeters, which is pretty thick because regular Converses is almost like a piece of fabric. So this, imagine it's like triple or quadruple layered. So structure on these is solid. One of my biggest gripes about Converses was that, you know, the sides would fall in, the tongue would fall in. Clearly with these, the tongue has already fallen in. I feel like the tongue is how typically Converse, this section here, is made. But the structure on these is pretty solid. They hold up really well. So I think that's another reason why, even though I don't really care for Chuck Taylors, I think these look really dope. Just the overall shape and construction of them is really nice. And then moving to your inner portion of the shoe, you have your classic Converse All-Star Chuck Taylor patch right there that is sewn in. Again, I think on the regular pair, this is just maybe like an iron-on. I'm not gonna say stamp, but it's almost like just an iron-on. Whereas opposed to this is like stitched on, and this right here is like an imprinted leather. So really nice touch of detail. And then the one last thing on this shoe that I feel like is different than your typical standard pair of Converse is the laces. So these come with fairly thick flat laces, but the nice thing about them is they come pre-creamed. So, and you know, I gotta say it, that's what she said. But the shoes come with these cream laces that look very nice, very in line with that whole vintage aesthetic. Looks super clean. and just really fits that retro vintage vibe. And next up, I'm gonna show you guys an on foot of both pairs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the on-foot video. Like I said, very classic, iconic shoe. I myself, I've never been the biggest fan until these two or this model came out. I mean, I think they look really good with pants, but I also think if you're tall enough and you can wear like white tube socks, they look pretty good as well with shorts. But I myself, I think I'm gonna keep them. I think they're a pretty good, solid wear, very simple, very clean. You can pull out the closet, you can dress them up, dress them down. So I think that's why I will be keeping the Chuck 70s. You know, if anything, I'll keep the black pair and return the white cream pair, just because this is more of a classic, easy look to wear. And I'm not gonna dub these sneaker of the summer or anything like that, but I will say these are definitely a shoe you should have in your wardrobe if you're looking to just maybe add something very simple. You know, this is like almost an essential, I want to dare say, you know, an essential if you really like this style, or if you're just looking to get into shoes or sneakers, or just maybe upgrade your wardrobe a bit. I think these are a good add in comparison to the regular Converses. But it's gonna wrap up the video, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.